As professional creators, we've heard this over and over again. Burnout is real. And if you're not careful, you can find yourself in serious funks or even completely crippled creatively. On this video, I'm going to be sharing the 5 tips on how to avoid burnout, not only from my own personal experience, but from experiences of other creators.
I burn out once every 6 or 7 years. I hit a real spot where I want to just check out and I go to sleep.
Everyone experiences burnout if they're doing the same thing constantly, especially if it's at an unreasonable schedule.
Bro, I'm fully burnt out. There's no wax left in the can.
I decided that I need to take a break from this channel.
But it's this pressure that I can't let go of this thing because the bottom could fall out.
In that effort to keep up, you become overwhelmed. And that sense of being overwhelmed manifests as burnout.
This day and age, if you want to be in the content space, it's about quantity. So essentially, I'm being proactive about a very big possibility that I know can happen because of the amount of content that I'm producing on a weekly basis. And that makes me think about this quote: it takes a wise man to learn from their own mistakes, but even a wiser man to learn from the mistakes of others. And so these are the 5 steps on how to avoid burnout as a content creator in 2021. Tip Número 1, mental and physical health. I take at least 2 to 3 hours before my day even starts to dedicate to my personal and mental health. I exercise, I meditate, I eat a great breakfast, I drink my coffee without any rush, I read, I listen to a podcast, I get ready for the day with, just all the time in the world, just very comfortable, very smooth. That's why it's 2 to 3 hours. If I needed more time than that, then that would be something that I have to work in. If 2 to 3 hours would not to be enough, then I would need more. That means that I either have to get up earlier or I have to then modify my day around getting more time around that, so it's just really, it's a constant game of Tetris, trying to find the perfect formula and balance that fits with the you in that moment, because you're constantly evolving. So as you're evolving, your needs are going to change, your boundaries are going to change, your perspective is going to change, and that is just the natural order of how it works. So tip number 1 is mental and physical health. When you take care of this, when you take care of your heart, when you take care of that first, the creativity, the executions, the ideas, everything is going to flow when you're taken care of first. Tip number 2, your workspace. Feng Shui is a thing, and spaces create and hold energy. And it's super important for you to go into a space where you're feeling excited, where you're feeling like, yes, this is exactly where I want to be, crushing it, doing my work, whether it's editing, writing, whatever it is that you're doing. And whatever your space is, whether it's a small little room or my place is a dining room right now, that is where my desk is. Finally, after 11 months of living in my apartment and having 50 different setups, maybe not 50, that's an exaggeration, but for sure 5 to 10. It's in that range. It's every month it was changing because I was learning new things about my style or my taste or the way the layout of the apartment is. All of those things are going to affect how things are going to be accommodated or work, and I'm still working on it. It's just so necessary for your workspace to be conducive to an exciting and inspired environment. So if you're looking around your space and you're like, this does not bring me any joy, this is not at all what makes me want to sit down and crush it, then you have to start figuring out how to change that. It's a game changer when you spend enough time creating an environment that when you go into it, you're super excited about. So that is definitely tip number 2, your workspace. Tip number 3, do the things that you're passionate about. So this is super important. I understand that we all have to pay the bills. We all have to do what we got to do. We're not always going to do things that we want to be doing. That's why it's so necessary for you to make sure that you're structuring in time to do things that you're passionate about. Do things that set your soul on fire, because this is what's going to give you the fuel to keep going through the parts that you don't want to do. Tip number 4, and this is a really good one. Done is better than perfect. for once and for all, I don't know how many times we have to hear this as creators to like understand that perfection, it does not exist. Perfection is a myth, it's an illusion, it does not exist. There's always going to be room for improvement. There's always going to be room for growth. So just do it. What I've been doing to be able to do these no matter what is that I've been setting a time frame. I got this one day from this time to this time to knock it out. From idea to setting it up, to shooting it, to editing it, to doing everything. And whatever was done in that amount of time, that is it. That is the time that I have allotted to myself to be able to do it. And if I go over that time, then that's already going to be spilling over until other things that I have to do. Therefore, it's going to create the ripple effect of delaying a bunch of different things, and it's going to spill over, and that is unacceptable. That cannot happen, because what I'm doing for my soul is equally as important as the things that I'm doing to make money. So then, you know what I mean? Like, all of those things just really have to align. They have to be in sync. They have to feed off of each other. That's what's going to allow you to not only sustain, but be consistent and stay in the game for the long run, because this is a long game. It is a marathon, but it's also kind of a sprint. So it's a fine dance that you're only going to start discovering and understanding how it works for you as you're doing it, but keeping in mind all of these things and prioritizing your you time, your workspace. All of these things are going to help you not get burnt out, not get overwhelmed. Tip number 5, maximize your life. So the best way to be able to understand or start maximizing your life, and this is even going to take a little bit to kind of like hone down on, is time tracking. Time tracking everything. When you wake up, how long from when you wake up to you start exercising in the morning? How long typically does it take you to make breakfast and eat? How long does it take you to fully get ready? How long does it take you to do this one task? How long does it take you to set up? Everything needs to be time tracked at the beginning. I've been doing it, and it's hard to hit. You literally have to have like freaking something glued to you just writing it down, because things are moving and you're moving on to other tasks and other things. So time tracking is going to allow you to understand where time is spent. And once you understand where time is spent, then you can start understanding, okay, well, this is something that I can do. This is something that I can afford to outsource. This is something, because that's the thing, you have to spend money to make money. That's a reality. You can't do it all yourself. So you just got to start weighing, like, your time now becomes very valuable. So like, if you have to caption something, are you going to do it yourself to save some money, or are you just going to send it to a company to get done, which you're going to spend money. You're doing a bunch of videos a week. That all adds up, but it's saving you so much time that you're able to spend it on other parts of your business to grow it, or things that you're passionate about to keep your soul account full. So it's kind of both of them. So that is why maximizing your life is a full-time job. Like, that is all that I think about when I'm doing something. This video, this format, I've thought about, I would do so many things differently to save time next time. There's constantly thinking about how can you maximize your time to create the most output without sacrificing the quality, but also not allowing perfectionism to slow you down. It's just all such a dance, and it is necessary for us to stay very in tune with that dance in order for us to not burn out and be able to execute and consistently do it and just enjoy it, not just be doing it, but enjoy it, to be able to know when to turn off, to be able to know when enough is enough, or this is it for today, or I'm going to go enjoy time with my loved ones, or I'm going to go enjoy time doing this activity that I love to do, or take this class, or do whatever, it's very necessary. And so that's why, for me, integrating everything is what's working the most. I need to integrate my passions with my paid work. Just everything needs to be integrated in a way that it doesn't feel like I am exacerbating myself and that I have so much work to do that I have no time to enjoy life. Because at the end of the day, there's no point in any of it if you're not even going to enjoy it. So these were my 5 tips on how to avoid burnout as a content creator in 2021. If you found any value in this video, I would love for you to drop a comment below. Let me know what your perspective is. I'd love to keep the conversation going, and I'll see you on the next video.